We're at Karchner's.
What'd you get?
In Lafayette, Louisiana. And I am eating a crawfish boudin ball. And it is delicious. It is spicy.
Is it spicy?
Uh-huh.
What else did you get?
We got crawfish balls. We got boudin balls.
Gar.
We got gar balls from the garfish. I got rabbit and pork boudin sausage. What else we get? Stuffed chicken.
Yeah, I got stuffed chicken thighs.
Ooh.
They're good?
If it's all as good as this, it's gonna be real good. You can't help stop talking like a Cajun though when you're eating it. Your mouth's full is good. I'm dropping bits.
Don't waste it.
I ain't gonna drop it. That was too good.
I don't know what the last bit is.
And we just ate lunch, but man, this is good. Big old crawfish right there. Another one there. You see the crawfish? It's a mud bug. Another big one. Man, it's stuffed full of crawfish. They're not cheating you here. You're getting all your crawfish in there.
Yeah.
You gotta try it, dude. That was really good. So we noticed some water in our shower, like seeping out from the wall on the back side of the wall in our kitchen area. And we also saw it at the base of our tub in our shower. So we figured there's a leak behind the wall. Sure enough, there was. So we're in the process of fixing that now. If you can see right here, I don't know if that'll come up on camera or not, but there's water right there behind the wall. So this wall is supposed to have this silicone seal, which you can see it's not sealed because it moves, but there's water behind there. And the culprit is our shower faucet. Right here, our water is dripping. You might be able to see that right there. It just dripped. So we just got to get that tightened up. It's not actually here. It's coming from the tube. So we got to get this bracket tightened so that it doesn't leak anymore. And once we do that, we're just going to air out the wall a little bit by putting some fans in here and try to dry things up for a few days before we put it all back together. So I did a little bit off camera. I just simply disconnected these two from our faucet so that I could see this clamp. So this guy right here is where we're failing. You can see there's a gap there. That gap is only supposed to be about this much away, and you can see there's a huge amount of space here. So this was not properly fitted onto here. So we're going to remove this. I bought a replacement for this guy right here that's a little bit more high quality. I think I might replace this guy too. And then we'll get it tightened up. There is a specialized tool for those clamps. So this guy right here, you can see, is a very specialized tool just to clamp those clamps down. And it is expensive. So if you can, go to like Home Depot or Lowe's and try to rent these. So you do not have to buy one because it's ridiculously expensive just to tighten one little fastener. Alright, so for these clamps, you should be able to see right here is a flat part. If we can just get a flathead screwdriver to lift this up, it should come off. At least that is what the internet says. Of course, I got to do this backwards towards myself and try not to get injured. I was able to break the little tooth off right here that holds this on. So I think if I can lift it up now, it should come apart. I should be able to reuse this stuff. Alright, so I got the old piece off. I've got 2 new fittings that we haven't clamped down yet on. And I think we're about ready. Alright, and once it's properly tightened, the handle will release from itself. And so you can see it's popping open, so it's tight. And now you have a tight fit. Alright, time to turn on the water. So one of the reasons this might not have happened is if you do not have a pressure gauge, then you might not have the right pressure. And so normally our pressure is 40 psi. The plumbing can take up to 100 psi, but at some campsites you can actually get beyond 100 psi coming out of the faucet. So this regulator keeps us from going above pressure. Now, I didn't put this on one time and the pressure was really high, so that high pressure might have been what loosened up and caused our problem. So you always got to make sure to put your pressure regulator on before your filter, because your filter as well can't take more than about 60 psi. Hi, Pancake Kitty. What we're looking for is to make sure that there is no water leaking from there. So we're going to leave the water and pressure on for a little while. Make sure that the water works as intended. So we're going to leave that like that for a bit open to make sure that it's dry. If it's still dry in a few hours, we'll screw it all back together, put the silicone on. We gotta go look at the outhouse. It's very, very important.
It's even wet. And I was wet. You're taking that one.
This is a 3-seat pooper.
Yeah. So you can talk with your family and friends while you poop. Hey, what's doing? You know, hey, what's doing? I'm just pooping. That's all. We're all pooping together.
You guys are very weird. So that's one tree, Coop. This saw blade is taller than you. Could get some video of the early Bayou folk, how they lived. That's what we're doing out here?
The Canadian refugees.
The Canadian refugees.
4?
Now, this little cage is very light, okay? And Mr. Thibodeau made this. See, it's you want to hold it? Pick it up. It's very light. It's a light wood. You see? Yeah, see, it's not very heavy. So, yeah. So let's say Mr. Thibodeau was gone to town. Now, have y'all seen Little House on the Prairie?
They have not.
They have not.
No.
Oh, we got to see Little House on the Prairie.
It was, they didn't have Walmarts and they didn't have gas stations in those days. And the next town was kind of far away. It would take like about an hour to get there. So Mr. Thibodeau needed to go to town to get some supplies. Let's say Miss Thibodeau needs curtains. She doesn't have any fabric for her curtains in here. So he goes out back and his chicken had some little chicks. So he's got a whole bunch of little chicks, more than he needs. So he would maybe like put the little chicks in here and carry them, because it's not very heavy. He'd carry them to the merchant in the next town, the store. They did have stores, but not like Walmart.
Right.
And then he would tell the merchant in the store, he would say, I have these little chicks, I have too many. Would you trade these little chicks for some fabric for curtains for my wife? And the guy would say, sure, I had a man here yesterday. He was looking for some little chicks. So that's how they... Now this little quilt is called a patchwork quilt. They were very, very poor people. They came down from Canada with nothing because they were exiled. They were put out on boats into the ocean. Look at this. It's awesome, huh? Think it was comfortable? No. No. You think they slept at night? Yes, they did. You know why? Because they were tired. The kitchen was outside for 2 reasons. So it wouldn't heat up the house in the summer.
Right.
And if there was a fire, it was away from the house and it would be easier to just contain into this area instead of having it go into the whole house. This, inside this wall, is called bousillage. Bousillage is what they used for their insulation. It's a mixture of mud or clay with either horsehair or moss. And it's kind of like, you know, they would pack it in there and then it would help to keep the house insulated.
That's exactly how I pronounced it.
Yeah, good.
No, he did not.
I didn't even come close.
Tried.
I was like, I don't even know.
How about a chapalaya?
I did not get that one either.
Thank y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay.